There is something profoundly unsettling about hatred. It does not come quietly. It does not whisper. It arrives like fire, fierce, blinding, demanding your attention. And yet, when you look closely, hatred is not about the other person at all. It is about the place within you that trembles in their presence, the face you cannot bear to see, the truth you cannot yet hold. You see, my friend, every person you hate reveals the part of you unseen. This statement may sound poetic, even philosophical, but it is not meant as comfort, it is meant as confrontation. Hatred is one of the psyche's most faithful messengers. It comes not to destroy you, but to awaken you, to show you what you have buried beneath the fragile image you call I. In every human being there exists an unseen realm, a vast landscape beneath the surface of consciousness. It is here that the shadow dwells, the collection of all you have denied, rejected, or feared within yourself. Qualities that do not fit your image of goodness, strength, or virtue. You say, I am kind, and so you hide your cruelty. You say, I am humble, and so you repress your pride. You say, I am strong, and so you exile your vulnerability. But the psyche does not forget. What you repress does not die. It simply finds another form. And so, the world begins to mirror your inner landscape. The people who irritate you, the faces that trigger your contempt, the voices that make your blood boil, all are reflections of your own unconscious. You believe they disturb your peace, when in truth they disturb your illusion. When hatred rises, it is as though a part of your own soul knocks on the door and says, "You have abandoned me." Let me tell you a story. Once, a man came to me full of anger toward his father. He described him as cold, selfish, and proud, a man who took without gratitude and spoke without warmth. The son had sworn never to be like him. He devoted his life to being kind, generous, humble, everything his father was not. But life is circular, not linear. And one day, when he became a father himself, he discovered a strange thing. Whenever his child disobeyed him, the same tone, the same harshness, the same pride he hated in his father came out of his own mouth. He wept in my office, saying, "I've become what I despised." And I said, "No, you have not become him. You have discovered him within you." The man you hated was never outside you. He lived within your shadow. By hating him, you kept him alive in exile. Only by facing him could you free yourself from his grip. Hatred is not evil. It is a compass pointing toward what you must integrate. Every emotion, no matter how dark, contains information. Hatred says, "Here lies a part of you not yet owned." Think about this. When you encounter someone arrogant and it enrages you, what exactly are you reacting to? Their arrogance or your own unacknowledged desire to feel powerful? When you despise greed, is it always moral superiority, or does it mask your envy of freedom and indulgence? When you condemn dishonesty, is it always justice, or the shame of your own small deceits? I am not suggesting that arrogance, greed, or lies are virtues. I am saying that your emotional charge toward them often reveals more about your inner conflict than about the other person's character. The outer world is not separate from your inner one. It is the theater in which your unconscious performs. People play roles you secretly assign to them so that you may meet your unhealed parts in flesh and blood. This is why hatred has such energy. It contains your rejected self trying to return home. You can feel it, the tightness in the chest, the heat in the face, the inner trembling. That is not about them. That is your own soul fighting the wall you have built against it. To know yourself truly, you must dare to ask, why do I feel this hatred? What does it reveal about me? What am I trying not to see? Because until you see it, you are not free. The one you hate, you become bound to. The energy you invest in rejection becomes the chain that ties you to them. You carry them everywhere, in your mind, your dreams, your speech. You think you've escaped, but you've simply reversed the direction of obsession. In truth, every act of hate is an act of unconscious worship. You pour life force into the image you oppose. The more you fight it, the more real it becomes. The only liberation lies in understanding, not forgiveness out of politeness, but insight born of courage. This person awakens in me what I have buried. Only then does hatred dissolve, not by force, but by light. For what is seen no longer needs to shout. The unconscious, you must understand, has infinite intelligence. It will not allow you to remain fragmented. What you reject within, it will project without, until you finally learn to recognize yourself in the mirror of the world. This is why relationships, conflicts, and hatreds are so psychologically fertile. They reveal the boundaries of your own awareness. Each person you despise marks the edge of what you are not yet conscious of. The shadow's voice is not polite. It speaks in irritation, in disgust, in rage. But if you listen beneath the noise, you will hear its true message. Do not forget me. Most people, however, respond to hatred by moralizing. They say, I am right and they are wrong. But morality alone cannot heal the psyche. The unconscious does not care about your righteousness. It cares about your wholeness. Wholeness means that everything within you, light and dark, noble and base, divine and human, finds a place in awareness. The rejected qualities are not eradicated, they are transformed. Cruelty becomes strength with compassion. Pride becomes dignity. Desire becomes vitality. But this transformation can only begin when you stop projecting. Projection is the unconscious act of seeing in another what you cannot face in yourself. It is a way of saying, this darkness is not mine. When you project hatred, you protect your ego from dissolution. You preserve the illusion of purity, but you also imprison yourself in a false self, one that is fragile, anxious, and defensive. The shadow denied becomes fate. You will meet it again and again, in lovers, in enemies, in the strangers you mock. Life, in its wisdom, will bring you the same energy in countless forms until you integrate it consciously. This is why you must not fear your shadow. You must learn to dialogue with it. Sit quietly when hatred rises and ask it, what are you trying to tell me? What do you need me to see? You may be astonished at the answers. Often the shadow hides your power, not your sin.
Many people hate arrogance because they themselves have repressed the capacity to stand tall. They mistake confidence for cruelty because they were taught humility as submission. Hatred then becomes the mask of envy, not of material things, but of freedom. Likewise, some despise others' emotionality because they fear their own vulnerability. They call others weak or dramatic, when in truth they long to cry, to feel, to be held. The hatred keeps them safe from that longing. Thus, the people you hate become your teachers, unwilling perhaps, but precise. Each one holds a key to the room you have locked inside yourself. When you begin to see hatred this way, the world changes. You no longer rush to condemn. You begin